they craze over it. So hi YouTube, we have Brady, Rosie, and Sage. Introduce yourself, guys, because for some of these people, it's the first time meeting you guys.
What is up, YouTube? I'm Brady. I am a psychologist like Edgar, and also a time travel conspiracist like the main character. That's why I have my protective apparatus on my head here. It's to protect us from the brainwaves and the polytemporal psychotic resonance coming through the screen as we watch this series.
I'm Sage. I'm a streamer. That's about it.
Full stop.
Full stop.
I got my protection gear.
There you go. They like signal their like protection in this direction.
Yeah, we're protecting ourselves from everyone and everything. There we go. All right, Rosie, who are you?
Hi, I'm Rosie. I have international affairs bachelor's and then master's in Latin American Hemispheric Studies. So then I work on abuse cases for people with developmental disabilities as well as like hospital and investigations.
Beautiful.
And sort of.
Damn, I'm a high schooler.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We're gonna get our 10-year reunions like next year of high school. So
holy shit.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof, Brady.
Insane.
What?
Are you going to yours or no?
I'm kidding.
Dude, I would have to fly to Denmark to go to my high school reunion, which I would.
Yeah.
Good reason. Good reason.
But anyway,
high school in Denmark was awesome.
I'm sure it was.
Not going to my high school reunion in America.
Anyway,
super free, like compared to America.
Okay, final check. Can you guys see what's on the screen? Like if I press play a little bit, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let me go and lower the volume just a little bit. Anytime that you guys have anything to say, just raise your hand, stop it, yell at me, whatever, and I'll stop it. And we'll have a discussion. Sound good?
Okay, great.
Let's go.
Be big about it, Sage. Don't be afraid to step in on other people's toes.
Oh, I got you.
Okay,
got you.
There we go. Let's go.
Okarin? なぜだある実体はある幽霊ではないのか
boundaries, dude.
Boundaries.
俺は真実を知りたいだけだ刺されたのは確か
Context.
Yeah, checking. Why don't you ask?
He saw her die before, and that's why he's so surprised to see her. Just covering for what you haven't seen. That's why he's so shocked. Like he saw her got stabbed.
But also boundaries, dude.
Like personal space.
But also boundaries, yeah. Like you can verbalize.
Okay, no. For the for you girls that are in here, if a guy went up to you and started like touching your hair and like being weird like that,
be on the floor.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I'd be bit up.
Yeah. Ooh. On the floor.
FBI open up.
3時間ほど前ラジカンの中町博士記者会見の時オカリン妄想はチラ裏だけにしとけって中町博士の会見は中止になったっしょしかしマキセさんそろそろお時間ですはい待て逃げるのか
あなたは
あなたではない法院今日まだ
And Twitch can't hear this, only we can.
Oh, they can't? Why?
Copyright.
Oh, it's the music.
Yeah. Just dance around. Best way for them to know what's happening. Yeah, rave. Oh, you're dino dancing. There you go.
Carl.
Pretty good one.
So not only did he doesn't just recognize her from getting stabbed, he also recognized her before that, and she had no idea who she was, which led us to think that this is like third loop, fourth loop, possibly more than that.
Well, I mean, Okay, let's put it like this. Sage just saw me get murdered, right? Or like, not get murdered, but like get stabbed and I'm laying down in the ground, right? And then like,
Yeah.
you walk around, say you go to school, and at school, boom, I'm still there alive for some reason. What loop is
No, but
this?
also the first time she didn't recognize him. She was like, "I don't know who you are," but he was like, "I've seen you before," and then he saw her get stabbed. So
Right.
that was the first time we saw him. Was also not like he had already gone through some sort of time warp at that point.
Oh, are we hitting Rocky Horror here? What's the time warp? Brady, we doing the time warp now?
Off topic.
Sure.
Off topic. Cool thing. For my school, they did Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I did all the makeup for the usherettes.
Oh, look at you. Rocky Horror is a base show. If you guys haven't watched Rocky Horror, go watch Rocky Horror. Best way to
Can we
put
do
it.
like a live reading of Rocky Horror or something around Halloween time? Wouldn't that be fun?
Brady, if the channel ever gets big enough, I will literally direct a Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I'll invite all the Sheemers in our family. Yeah, it'll be a full-on theater production. We'll do it, man. All right,
That'd be amazing.
let's go.
With music and stuff. I'm good without acting.
I like how your ducky
What's
is still
her role
there.
in the conspiracy? Because the only thing we've seen, she's been a very passive character so far. We've only seen actions taken upon her. We've seen no actions taken from her
By her.
herself. Yeah.
But I'm guessing that's sort of what will be explained as we go on, because
Maybe it's a metaphor for fate truly being out of your hands.
all right, Brady, all right, Animorph. Everything's an
I love how
Animorph.
it says,
Animorph.
I love how it says up there, like, time travel paranoia.
Damn, what are we? In a court? Gotcha.
Sustained.
Yeah.
Sustained.
I just got sent really bad dad jokes.
All right, let me pause because I kind of wanted to ask a question. Then you can say your dad jokes, guys. At least in high school, for you guys, did you guys ever have like issues with the presentation, like like public speaking, like actually doing a presentation, or have you gotten better at it, like after your teen years? Brady,
Go first. Hey, I'll go first.
Okay, go take it.
So I was an avid during middle school, which is a college preparatory class.
Right.
But essentially, no, I'm great at public speaking and those things. I'm great at it. I don't love it because it's just annoying. Like, I'll do it, but like, I have to get up and but like, I know, so much effort. But yeah, I'm good at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Next person.
I honestly did not start out good at it when I was in middle school. Terrified, had no means of verbalizing myself. But as you know, Edgar, over the years,
Oh,
I got very
God.
comfortable at it. Not just naturally, but by applying myself to learn it. And I got very good at it, and I enjoy it. As you know, you've seen me give many presentations where I am like, my top priority is not the grade I'm getting, but how much fun am I having getting up there and like telling my story?
You faked an entire presentation, dude. You
I
made it up.
literally faked an entire presentation.
No, because if I don't like with essays, presentations, whatever, if I do not know like what we were doing, like if I just completely half-assed the entire like semester, whatever, what I'll do is I will take whatever we're learning about, whatever, just one sentence out of whatever they said.
Right.
And then I'll twist it to something I do know about. And I'll go on and on and on and on. And then I talk enough that they're like, oh, you're done.
This was a master's level final presentation
dude?
for your master's level course. You get one shot at it. And I get into the classroom, and there's, what, 6 of us in
you
our
were
class?
talking too, though.
And I was like, I'll go first. And she didn't pick me. She didn't pick me. And thank God she didn't, because the second someone else got up, I was like, wow, I made the wrong presentation. Mine is completely the wrong thing that she was looking for. So in the space of that student's presentation and mine, I just made a new one in like 12 minutes.
Okay, but you were talking about Raspberry.
Yeah, I used like a stock template on PowerPoint and like filled in a bunch of bullshit psychology words. And I got up there, and not only did I just bullshit my way through it, I wrapped it around to like a legitimate presentation. And we were talking about group therapy and dynamics. And I was like, the raspberry is a great representative of the dynamic of a group therapy session. You have a single composite fruit made up of a selection of berries. Yeah, like, and the professor was like, wow, that was a really good interpretation. And actually, raspberries, they do symbolize interpersonal strength. And I was like,
and did you just have it for breakfast or something?
No, it was a stock image. Yeah, it was just a random stock image in there, and I know because I saw him literally like go through. I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta get shit done." I'm like, dude.
I was texting Edgar, and I was like, "Bro, I made the wrong thing. I'm gonna make a new one right now," and I did it, and I got an A.
I just bullshit my way through it, and then like I usually get a good grade because my goal when in presentations, it's not like how much fun can I have. No, like that is a great way to look at it, but mine is how smart can I make this bullshit I'm feeding them sound. Like how good can I make this sound? Because it's cool. I wasn't here the entire semester. I was just like, oh, all right, are you ready for the dad jokes?
Sure, go ahead.
What do you call it when an amputee learns karate?
God, what?
Partial arts.
Partial arts?
Partial arts.
I'm holding that one in. Okay. That was on the last. Okay, actually, I have something that we can do after this. That would be fun, but let's finish this first, and then we'll get to it. Okay. And I'll just state my little thing first. For me, at middle school, I was completely afraid of like public speaking. I did theater, got over it pretty quickly. I stopped giving a shit. Essentially, the only point when I get nervous now is when I know that like I'm presenting on a subject that I don't know anything about, and it can be challenged on the spot. So like when it can immediately be challenged by like other like master students or directors or whatever on the spot, that's when it's like, oh crap, all right, now I really got to know what I'm talking about. And that's sort of what I'm wondering about, like, a person giving a speech like this and then like someone just being like, you're wrong, objection, like they're in the freaking like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. But anyway.
there was a one I did that I completely bullshitted. Like I made that presentation in like 5 minutes for scenic design. It was like, oh, you need to make an event, like whatever the event may be and whatever. And so I just bullshit my way through it. And they were asking me like, oh, what would the lighting and what would that be? Like, did you put any thought into this in it? I just said, nope.
Nope.
I was like, nope. No, I didn't. I really didn't. And nope, this is the thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're like, fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean that's better to be honest and yeah.
Confidence can make up for incompetence.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Calling someone out.
I know. In public. Ooh.
Like, right? You specifically.
Fuck you. Specifically. Oh. What's up?
Wait. Story time. I did, one summer, at a martial arts studio, actually, my job was to yell "spin the wheel" at one of the events because I love spinning wheels so much. But I was so good at it. Why? Because I'm like, spin the wheel! You over there, I saw you looking. Come spin the wheel. It's free candy. I'll call people out.
Right.
I'm like, hey,
They're
you
right
in the
up, ladies
hat,
and
I
gentlemen.
like you. Come here. And then they're like, people get disturbed at the amount of confidence for stuff like that. Because I'm just like, this is my job right now. And
So what I'm hearing is you can put
the more people I get over, like, this is the goal. And then I get to interact with people.
Which is true, but I was about to say, like, it also takes a lot of balls to be able to like call someone out in public and be like, "Hey, you know, you're either wrong or come and spin the wheel." And also, are you addicted to like spinning wheels? Because you were really like spamming it in the
I
chat.
love it.
Yeah, like spin it, Mike Butler.
It's like
I
a
love
wheel. It's a
spinning
wheel situation.
I go like to conventions and I will run up and spin wheels. I'll ask them if I can spin the wheel, like, and just say like, I don't need to win anything. Just like, let me spin it. It's purely I just love spinning wheels. Yeah, but I do have like a good amount of ballsiness, but that's partially just because I do not care.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care what you think. So
But hey,
I'm gonna do whatever I
Spin the
want.
wheel.
yeah, spin the wheel. Dang.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's my story.
宇宙ひも理論におけるタイムトラベルは現実的ではありませんが、挑戦してみます？ホーインさん。
Oh,
そうです
dude.
ね。じゃあ、エキゾチック物質見つけてくださいよ。ホーインさん。以上で私の話は終わりですが、それでも反論があるなら聞きますよ。ホーインさん。
Yeah, drag your name through the mud. Fuck.
Yeah, the sweat dripping.
That's one thing that I'm always like, ugh.
その手には乗らぬわ。
あと一回。せーの。ぬかくんすごい。
Sounded like a sneeze.
合言葉を忘れているぞ、ルカ子。
エルクサイコ。
But to
What?
be fair, I wasn't looking at the screen. At
コ
that
ング
moment.
ルーだ。
Oh, you're good.
それで
Oh my god, I found another dino I didn't
ここ
unwrap.
だよ。
Ooh.
ごめんね。
It has wings.
マユシ一人ではモテそうになかったのです。父がもらってきて。うちでは
It's
食べ
cute.
きれないので。
そうか。ラボへの食料提供感謝する。ラボ面の士気も上がることだろう。
よかったです。喜んでもらえて。
いや、その。
ルカ君毎日素振り続けてるんだよね。はい。京馬さんとの約束なの。
Why do I have red flags? Like, raised.
You are saying the words that I am thinking.
Yeah, I have like immediate red flags that like popped up just off of their interaction. Like, first off, that's the whole like blushing thing towards like, okay, well, excuse that. It's anime be anime. You know, that's probably the best way I can put it. But let's go ahead and like, I don't know, dude. Something just feels weird about the way that they're interacting. Like,
Well, I even want to dial it back to the conference room scene.
Sure, go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Where we have the lecturer. I don't know if we learned her name, but I don't remember it, right? Like, what do you think about the kind of person who weaponizes someone else's shame over them?
I mean, you could, first off, you can already tell that there was very, very clear power dynamics at play, right? Like the boundaries that like she drew, essentially, like she said it beforehand. He followed her into this like seminar that she's giving. He objects in front of everyone, trying to like, you know, push her back. So what does she do? She like quite literally shames him in front of everyone.
Well, it makes
3
sense to me.
times.
I mean, I think he made her feel embarrassed when he approached her and like, you know, was touching her and these sorts of things, right? So like, not only is she pointing out things that make him feel embarrassed, but she's also naming him. The repetition of his name, right? Like it's also identifying, right?
But
Shameful.
let's break that down even further, because a lot of people like might not even understand that concept. How have you guys, right, before we continue, how have you guys, like, intellectually, emotionally, physically, whatever, taken down anyone that's crossed a boundary or something, as an example?
An example.
Yeah, feel free. Any examples work.
Sage looks like she's bursting with a story.
Yeah, I can tell.
So, story time. I think I told this one yesterday, but I don't remember if it was on stream or not. So, I had woken up from a nap, okay? And so I joined call with my friends, and I'm like, hey, just a warning. I'm, like, really easily annoyed right now. I just woke up. I'm tired. So, like, let's not push it. Let's try to keep me as not annoyed as possible. And then this girl's she's just poking at me, and I'm like, dude, you don't want to fight with me. Like, just no.
Right.
And my other friend goes, you don't want to fight with Sage. And then that girl goes like, let's name her Carla. And then Carla goes like, oh, I think I do. And I'm like, dude, you don't want to fight with me. And my other friend's like, dude, you don't want to fight with Sage. She's done martial arts for like 9 years. And then Carla goes like, you may be able to fight with the fist, but I fight with the mind. Like, I'll kill you from the inside out or something like that. And I just respond like, oh, really? And then I essentially turned it back on her and was like, because I think you're doing this because of this.
Right.
All stemming from the insecurity of this, which probably happened because of this, making you react like this now, treating me and others like this, because of your superiority complex of you wanting to be like the top one of the group, when really, this, and blah, blah, like that. And then, so I basically broke it down of what she was doing, why she was doing it, and why she doesn't like that, and told her that. And then she resorted to like, you bitch, you.
Oh no.
And I just said, because of those, you resorted to those petty little insults, just proves I'm right.
But that's, and also, can I just say, your ability to break down people in that regard, i.e., you didn't go exactly for the ad hominem attacks. You didn't go for the physical attacks. You went for the destruction of the emotional damage route.
Psychological dismantling.
That is evil Sage. I'm going to classify that as evil Sage mode. We need an emote of you.
That's vengeful Sage.
That is what happens when I get past my fiery anger stage. I go like cold, and that is what happens. It very rarely happens, but she is an energy vampire and gets on my nerves very, very quickly. And she likes to poke at it, and she did not respect my boundary.
Yeah.
And so
there it is. Brady, what about you? I'm curious.
You don't respect my boundary. I'm not gonna be nice.
True.
Honestly, I think
I'm not gonna give you the respect if you don't give me respect.
True.
I think my most effective dismantling involves my recent ex-partner who destroyed my life and is the reason I'm still in this country.
They can suck a toe.
In which in which she and I had planned for me to move to her home country of Portugal for many years, and after I canceled my visa and closed down my psychology practice, she backed out of things, leaving me with nothing and having to rewrite everything I had planned for myself. And basically, I think the most effective dismantling I could do is just say, like, look, you have done so much damage to my life and my livelihood, right? Like, I closed my own business down for this, right?
Right.
That I'm just going to not allow you to speak to me anymore, right? Like, she had so much influence. I had put way too much influence in someone else's hands, basically. Trusted her a little too much. and I also lost every single possession that I own because I sent them to Portugal and never ended up moving to Portugal. So, yeah. Basically, like, then she demanded that I pay for those things to be sent back, and I basically just told her to fuck off. And then I blocked her, and I've blocked every single person that has written to me in her place. She's had tons of people try to reach out to me because she's sitting with a pile of my possessions because she refused to send them back to me. She demanded I pay for them. But even though the least she could have done is just sent them back to me.
Sorry.
Thank you. But like, honestly, my best power play is like, look, you've already destroyed basically my entire life. The best thing I can do is just say that this is where it ends. You can't talk to me anymore. The one thing I have full control of and will never lose control of is just my choice to not have to have you around anymore in my life. Like, of course she's not around. She's in Portugal doing whatever, but that's the point. Like, yeah, I don't have to receive messages from you. I don't have to continue to be like verbally abused by you. I don't have to be manipulated by you. She's had friends, lawyers write to me, and every single time I get a response from them, I just read it and then I block them, and then that's it. Like, you cannot do anything. You have no access to me. You can, look me up online, find these streams, hear me talking about it, do what you want, but you cannot directly speak to me anymore. And that's the only control I have. I didn't have control over all the other stuff that I lost. That's my my L right there. That's my loss. But this is the one thing I will never lose, is just I get to decide this is where it stops. Like, you've done enough damage.
Nice. But like, that's good though, that you've been able to go ahead and set up your, like, your boundaries, essentially the boundaries of what it means for you to protect yourself in that regard. Hi, Sizzlin. But yeah, dude.
And I had to develop the self-respect to do that as well, by the way. It didn't come naturally, where it's like, yes, I still spoke with her for a long time. I wanted my stuff back.
Right.
It's literally every possession I owned was in her hands. She's basically blackmailing me to get them back. And I just decided, you know what? I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. It's worth it to lose every single possession I own to say, you are no longer a part of my life anymore. Like, this is where it ends.
Right.
And I lost everything, and everything sucks. But at least I don't have to deal with that anymore.
See, I've gone full evil Ed like once or twice. Essentially, if I don't know how else to put this. I was very involved in the theater world for a good while. Voice acting, theater, video games, motion capture, all that stuff, right? But there comes a point in time that, like, hey, if you're trying to use like the connections that I've made and you've already like hurt me in some way, shape, or form, and you still think that using my name around to like land certain jobs or get into certain companies or whatever is going to get you like there, excuse me, but yeah, the organization's going to fucking fall down around you to the point where you get blacklisted from acting and, trying to like pursue that area for a good while. That's the best way I can put it without going further into details. Hey, what a better way of like crushing someone's soul than quite literally telling them, hey, you're never going to work in this field of art ever again. So that's the way that I take down some people. You go high, you set up the whole structure of support foundation, and then you just rug it away from them. Fuck it. Anyway,
brutal.
I know I can be brutal sometimes if I will need to be. With that being said, shall we continue, guys? Also, I love your ears. They're so like in depth, like I don't know how to put it, like very like detailed.
They look like a natural part of your
yes
your
yes they're cute. That's why I'm like, dang.
I have the absolute jank ears.
I specifically put them on the list, the ones that match my hair color, which is actually convenient because there isn't like yeah, there might be brown hair color, but it's convenient that I do have red auburn hair.
Right.
Is because it matches Fox's ears perfectly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so it looks pretty seamless because
I need the link to those exact ears.
Okay, hold on, I got you.
Because
not even joking.
Yeah.
My hair's a little bit darker than yours, but it is still red. It's not quite as
chat is saying
shiny.
Maybe they are real. Maybe you hide your ears when you want to be a human.
But in a not insignificant amount of time, chat is going to be demanding certain cosplays from Edgar and I. One of those involves ears, and I actually need a pair of ears.
Dude,
a pair of Ginger Fox ears would be.
Wait,
here's my rule for if there is a specific cosplay that chat wants to see me in, whether it's my stream or this stream is welcome to it too.
Oh hell yeah!
If there's a specific one you want to see, tell me to add it to my wish list and you can buy it.
There you go.
There you go.
Because I hate, if you want to see me in some crazy something, I'm not gonna, no.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Masters knows here. I'm the one with the long. I've promised a lot of stuff to chat.
But
I'm just
anyway,
I'm not gonna make myself look dumb.
While you're looking that up, I'm just gonna let it keep playing. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
そんな剣が武器屋本舗で980円なんてお買い得だったね。
では、鍛錬の成果を見せてもらおう。お払いはできるか？
一応。でも、ちゃんとしたお払いならお父さんの方が。
Ooh, imposter syndrome.
早くお払いを。あの力が全身を動かす前に。
この前と手が逆だよ。
今日は悪霊がこっちに取り付いたのだ。漆原ルカ。声も仕草も。
It's a dude. I fucking knew it. I was like, he feels like a trap, dude.
だが男だ。前より背は高いが、体つきはとても細い。
Do you want the ears as clip-on or not clip-on?
Which ones do you have?
Like clip-on or headband?
Let's go headband.
Okay, headband. This should be.
I'm a headband kind of guy. I had a headband phase.
This
More bandana phase.
I think this is the same one. I'm pretty sure.
You think? You got it?
I think.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's the same one-ish because it's the one with the headband.
Right.
I can send you two options too, but this one looks
send me
the
them
most
both.
realistic. Okay. Where's the Paradise Voice?
All right, chat. For you guys that are still in chat, how many of you guys actually believe that was a girl? That's what I'm wondering, because the majority of you guys are going into your Japanese, and once I see you guys going to your Japanese, I can already tell the weebs are coming out. So I gotta know, guys. I gotta know. Oh, I'm waiting for the base responses here.
There you go. I put them in the thing.
What does it even mean? Daga Otoko Dai.
I don't.
I put it in the Paradise Voice.
Gotcha.
Heck yeah.
Chat.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna check these out later.
Oh, it means, but it's a guy. Ah, you see, I had a feeling.
だが男だ。
Ha.
もう夕暮れだというのに暑いな。セミが鳴いている。だが男だ。
Okay, yeah, now I hear it.
ルカ君お払いできるなんてすごいね。
Well, he's a cutie.
神社の息子だからな。
わざだ。ごめん。
通行止めか？
ここ通るとラジカンの裏だからね。
ラジカン。
What's her deal? I mean, she's like a space cadet.
Quite literally, bro. Like, yeah.
ありがとう。
Oh my.
今日はシフト遅いから終わったらそのまま帰っちゃうと思う。
マユリ。
See, isn't that like real quick? Isn't that like symbol, like a red fucking flag as well? Anytime that this is the second episode, name me average. Anytime that a character looks at like a watch or something, or like a clock, and then they like leave or whatever, like, isn't that like a big red flag for death or some shit? Like, I'm pretty sure, dude. I am almost pretty fucking sure that, like, literally, like, I don't know, dude. Oh, go ahead.
Wait, on the topic of like the fox ears, what I said about like the thing, like, if you want to see me do a cosplay, like, tell me to put it on my wish list. I can give you an amazing example. Are you ready?
we're gonna have
Coming soon.
we're gonna have you do like Spider-Gwen or something cool.
I do Mary Jane.
Oh, you do Mary Jane? Dang, look at you.
I do a
Mary
really
Jane
good
is
Mary
very
Jane.
That's awesome. But yeah, that is right. That's exactly why I was saying it. Clock, time is an avoidable, whole thing about like predestined fate, which is sort of like hitting on. So,
Well, not only that, but a conversation by the water is also a visual metaphor for death.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
As an anthropological narrative enthusiast, as myself I am, that is one of the signs of a imminent tragedy.
all of a sudden, yeah, Sage is gonna go whenever she has to do a presentation. Let me talk to you guys about talking like next to water and what it means.
I'm like, no. Next time we talk about a book or something, I'm like, okay. But I knew it was going to go downhill. Why? Because their conversation was next to water. Conversations next to water actually signify a tragedy or a death.
And where did you learn that, Sage? Well, I learned it from a boy. From a psychologist wearing a tinfoil hat with cat ears atop his head.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, it works.
Just like, where did you learn this? Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
We were watching anime one day, wearing tinfoil hats. Yeah.
I was in foxy ears, and then.
What did I tell you, AZ? Of course, it happened in ReZero. It's a visual metaphor.
Here, I'll throw us out to chat. Chat. What if we quite literally put like one of the wish list items or whatever, and we all do like if chat gets to decide what cosplay, but like literally like a themed cosplay for all of our like streamers here. So quite literally
We should all do onesies.
That would be cute. That would be cute. But anyway, let's go. Let's finish this episode. What's up? Let's go.
May I suggest dinosaur onesie?
I'd be down. As long as I can keep wearing them. I don't care. Yeah. What dinosaur though?
Whichever they have on Amazon. Someone said in chat, sourced. Trust me, bro.
今日は早いのだな、ミスター・ブラウン。だからその呼び方やめろっつってんだろ。今日はバイトの面接があってな。バイト？この新規臭くて客もおらず、むさいおっさんが店長のこの店に。おめえな。
Yeah, I wanna pick a fight with them.
あれ、流行りの挨拶って聞いたんだけど。
まさかバイトというのは？悪いか。名前は？
浜根鈴葉。
年は
18。
志望動機は？
ブラウン管が好きだから。
採用。待て、これはコントか？仕込みか？
そういう君は？
CRT-TV enjoyer.
Oof. You know what's crazy, Brady? I don't. Sage, have you ever seen the older TVs?
What do you mean? Like the ones that were really big?
Like the non-plasma TVs.
Like I mean like the box?
Yeah, the giant, the thick boys, yeah.
Okay. like the one that you use the freaking tapes that I can't remember the name of.
Like VCR?
The VCR? Yeah. No, I just couldn't remember the name of it. But those can go on any TV. Like, no, I'm remembering specifically when I was like really little, like 5. I would go to the dojo when my brother and dad were training because it was the higher rank classes and I was 5. And they had a bunch of VCR, like I remember specifically like Peter Pan and like stuff, and they had one of those TVs, and I remember it was small, but it was thick.
Yeah, they were thick boys back in the day.
That's how I remember. I'm like, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Okay. I'm glad. I thought you were about to be like, nope.
No, I was like, you mean just old TVs?
Old TVs, yeah.
Cathode ray tube television. The organization.
サラ、クラウディ
Ah.
ア、シモーヌ。
Simone. The way he says certain names, man.
She's part of the organization.
She has to be.
せいぜいそう思い込むがいい。いずれ、
What
この世界は俺にひざまずく
So essentially,
Conspiracy organization.
yeah, he thinks that like what was it, like time traveling or something, Brady, and like there's an organization after him.
Is that the
He's
organization?
experiencing time dilation, and so his like way of making sense of that is to conspiracize about there being an organization who is watching and manipulating him.
They're after us. They're putting stuff in the water that turns the frogs. I don't know. Stupid like
Gotcha.
people like that. Yeah.
Oh, also, question.
Sure.
Does the little like grid over the picture on stream also prevent the copyright?
Yes.
It does.
It does.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you need one, we got you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Proceed.
But you should be watching it on Discord.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay,
Right now,
good.
I'm just tabbing back and forth to see if chat says stuff
Good, good, good.
and like multitasking because I have the attention span of a toddler.
Squirrel.
And yeah, pretty much. And also because you had me look on Amazon for the ears, and now I'm on Amazon.
Now you're in a rabbit hole.
Now she's making a cosplay list.
I already have a cosplay list. It's a cosplay and LARP list.
Oh.
I love how the fake internet is called Goodle.
Well, of course we're not gonna name it after the real one, man. Copyright infringement at that point.
I had a friend who like had an advertising class, and he was supposed to come up with an advertisement for Google. And he came up with the most brilliant pitch for an advertisement I've ever heard.
What?
Did they
Which
do it?
he just basically took like all of the other search engines. He put them like Yahoo, Quora, Ask
Whatever the other ones
Jeeves,
are.
whatever, all of them, and then he just wrote at the top, "How do you Google?"
Wow.
It's like, damn, that's brilliant. Like they're all just Google.
CERN. Can't believe this was a real person, though.
Yeah, this is based on a real person.
Yeah.
But it was debunked.
Or that's what the organization tells us.
まず時間は過去から未来へと流れる一本の線ではありません。世界線という無数に平行に流れる川のようなもので形成されています。
Yes.
例えば、あ
Polytemporal
なたが今日
distortions.
通り魔に殺されるとします。それを未来から来た私が防いだとすれば、あなたが殺された世界と生き延びた世界の2つに世界は分岐するというわけです。
Okay, I guess on parallel jumping, you know, parallel dimension jumping, what is the worst sensation of déjà vu or jamais vu that you've had?
Jean de vu.
What's Jean David?
Qu'est-ce que le Jean de vu?
Jamais vu. Yeah.
Definition. Ooh.
Qu'est-ce que la définition du...
Sage.
I'm like, what's that?
Déjà vu, it means already seen.
Yeah.
In
Well,
French.
I know deja vu, but what's the other one?
I think the other one was like already. Fuck, what is it?
Well,
I think it was.
Jean de vu.
What is
Jean
it?
de
Not
vu
like-
would mean I've seen it. Jean de vu.
Well, yeah, Colin has it right there. The experience of being unfamiliar with the person or situation that is actually very, very familiar.
Oh, jamais vu.
Yeah, jamais vu.
That's never seen. Never
Yeah.
seen.
Oh, but
Jamais
you're
means never.
right. I could have stream and at the same time. Wait, the opposite of deja vu. How would that work? Feeling like it has happened before versus feeling like it hasn't?
No, like you have seen something before, but it feels like it's the first time you've seen it. Jamais vu.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I kind of get deja vu a lot, but not so much like I feel like this has happened before, but more I saw this in a dream. because I have dreams of stuff that happens before it happens, and I just have crazy good intuition.
So how much your dreams influence your decision making?
Oh, work out all my I work out so much stuff in my dreams.
Right.
If I don't sleep, I am the most anxious, depressed, like having the hardest time I could possibly be having. That is when I get to my lowest, is when I cannot sleep, because when I sleep, it's where I work out my problems.
Right.
Like I work them out in reality too, but like a lot in my sleep.
Edgar, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Because we're dealing with a character here who is talking about like basically the butterfly effect, right? Like
Right.
what if scenarios. How many times have you had a client come in to session and talk about, if only I had done this, or I must do this so that, right? Like they come in and they're really hung up on what if scenarios. I've had clients who come in and like they're unable to stay in the present with me. They're always running along the track of, oh, well, if only I could go back and do this. Oh, well, if only I had said this to her. Oh, like, what if this had happened? And they're just playing out these like alternate scenarios, and they never manage to process, okay, yes, those things happened. Some things didn't happen, right? How do you anchor them to the present? Like, what is your strategy for dealing with someone who is really hung up on what ifs?
Oh, what, like they're on the, like staying in the here and now, essentially? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep. Well, not just not just like immediacy, but like their whole processing is being interfered with by like these what if scenarios.
Right.
What if I said something different? Why didn't that work out?
It depends. It depends on the aspect of what the what if is, right? Because sometimes a lot of the what ifs is also trauma processing or grief processing, right? So, i.e., what if I, was actually better to my kids throughout their process? Would they have listened to me, or would they have actually cared about me now that I'm old and in this retirement home? And a lot of that is quite literally like grief processing and going through the stages of grief, because a lot of times people don't understand it. Don't understand that, hey, you know what? It's time to that's the past. Sometimes a lot of times in the past, we can't really change what's already happened. The only thing we can do is start taking steps forward. So it's quite literally like processing that grief, processing the interpersonal relationships and the narratives that they're telling themselves. Because a lot of times should is such an angry word that you can use to like beat up your self-esteem every single time. So this is one of the techniques that I steal from you, which is quite literally shifting should to other words, more positive action words, or using mental imagery and exactly.
Stop shooting yourself. Stop telling yourself what you should have done, what you should do.
Instead, start action verbs.
I have a whole psychological theory behind the word should.
But yep. That's essentially what I tend to do. But it's really sad, especially if you ever get into like older clients and like they go on that, like I should have done this, and now look at where I am. It's like, have you even taken the time to process what that like the grief from that?
No, I mean, I've had older clients who like they really are hung up on something that happened in, let's say if it's like my parents, they felt like their parents abandoned them, and it's like, yeah, when you go back that far, it feels like your whole life could have been different if that didn't happen, right? So they really get hung up on a what if I just had more support at this stage in my life, and it's like very hard to
go Sage, go
anchor them from that moment.
Something I realized is I have some fantastic abandonment issues, if I do say so myself.
The way you say that.
When I really felt into it, I realized it wasn't that someone left me, it's that I abandoned myself. When I was having the hardest time, I chose to turn my back on myself and hate myself more. I abandoned myself.
So,
and so now that hinders everything else because I don't know.
So
I don't even know.
I gotta ask.
But that's what I realized.
Yeah, I gotta ask you guys this then, because sometimes should, like, especially if let's relate it to the here and now. Have you guys ever been cheated on?
Probably. I can't confirm it, but probably.
Yeah, because often.
Well, actually, Sort of, but no, because
emotionally counts. Emotional cheating counts.
Emotional cheating?
Yeah. Quite literally, like, you know, they can start relying on someone else emotionally for all their needs while still physically being there for you.
No, I mean more like it wasn't like it was just a confusing situation for that one. So I guess sorta ish. But the other one was no, I didn't really get cheated on. I just got he just kind of like got super distanced and then led me on and saying like that all this shit was going on in his life and then distanced more and more and more. And then broke up. And then he did more rebound than he did cheat.
So it was like preemptive. Pre-planned.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of time when, like, you know, when you get cheated on, right? Oftentimes, because it is a symptom of trauma, you know, it's like quite literally like emotional abuse in some way, shape, or form, because you trust your partner so much that they literally, like, you know, tear that trust up, throw it away, or whatever you want to, however you want to do your mental imagery of that. But what do we start to do with that? Oh, you know what? I should have done this, you know, like when you start rethinking about, like, maybe if I did this differently in the relationship, it would have worked. Maybe if I did this, and you start putting on like different sensations of guilt on yourself for how the relationship ended.
Well, I mean, Edgar, you know, my past situation, I don't know if I told you this, but part of the reason that she bailed was because she had started to get a thing for her fitness instructor in Portugal.
Yeah.
And you know, but she didn't tell me. I only learned that many months after, right? After I was in my sort of healing process, right?
Right.
I healed from the breakup like quite quickly, but you don't heal from having the rest of your life dismantled, right? But like, I was often told, "Oh, you should have come earlier. If only if you had come to Portugal earlier, things would have worked out." And it's like, don't fucking push that on me. Don't fucking push that shit on me. Like,
no,
I actually don't. That's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing I'm very confident about, is that, like, I was doing as fucking good as I can given the situation I was in.
Yeah. Oh,
that's like I got a lot of the, like, you should have done this, you should have done this. I got a couple of those from friends and stuff. And my response was, well, I didn't. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I wouldn't go back and change things because they have gotten me to where I am now. So, yeah, they sucked. Still suck a little bit. But they got me to where I am now. But the nicknames my family has for him: douche waffle, twat waffle,
what a breakfast,
Kermit fucker, asshole McFucker face.
Yeah,
that one's a fan favorite. There's plenty of names. Just walking red flag.
Yeah.
But that, and then topic jumping back to what you said about the older clients who were talking all about the, like, what ifs, like, what if I had done that? What if I don't know if you guys worked with teens much.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I've done it too.
But teenage girls who overthink and are depressed.
Yep.
Just
I've had
my
a client
friends
exactly like that.
and just people who used to be my friends. Oh my god. like, what if they hate me? What if that one thing I said like 3 months ago changed to this? What if it?
Oh my god, like, my life is over.
And I'm like, oh my god, dude, I promised you. Like, take a deep breath. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
So
nobody cares. It's fine.
But
it's a whole.
Yeah, no, and you're right. A lot of teen clients, especially as they're growing, there's some cases where I'm like, dude. But no, for me personally, like, it's always funny that people always like to tell you what you should and shouldn't do in a relationship. Like, you should do this, you should do that, you should you should have been there for your partner, you should have done this. But at the end of the day, they will never be going through your situation. They will never have gone through what you've gone through. Like, even your friends will never truly know what your struggles were with your partner, what was good, what was bad. That's only your experience. And I know, because like for me, I know I've shared this on stream a long time ago. Like, when my partner cheated on me, this was a long time ago, literally like the week of my birthday and graduation, it was all together essentially. Literally the day after, I kept getting from all my friends, my close friends that like she was close friends with as well, and like just everyone. Oh, well, you should have done this. You should have done that. You should have stepped up and gone to go fight this dude. You should have gone to, I'm like, wait a minute. None of what you guys are saying makes any fucking logical sense.
Cheating, like, oh, you should have done this, and I wouldn't have cheated. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's
no. It is not our responsibility to do anything to affect your choices. We are not responsible for your dumb decisions.
Yeah. Exactly.
We are only responsible for our own stuff. That is completely on the other person. If they choose to go cheat, that's all on them. If they want to go be with someone else, they need to communicate that and end the relationship so they can be.
Yeah.
That is all on them.
Yep.
There is no part of that. Like, well, you should have done this. You should have done it.
Should have.
It's not like I'm not going to take that on.
Yeah, but that's
not my responsibility. Oh, I need to quiet down.
Sure. You're like, no, parents got mad at me again.
No, they just came in and told me to quiet down, and also I have to go soon.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Whenever you have to leave, just let us know, and you want to
play a game.
You want to play a game?
Yeah, but it's fine. I can wait.
Okay, well, I was about to say
I can wait till the thing.
We can always come back to Stein.
Yeah, we can always come back to Steins Gate. We can play a little game. There we go. Steins Gate episode 2. Let me pop that up. Let me share my screen with you, because it's always, you should be watching. There we go. Is that good?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm going to pull this over. Wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are continuing from there.
I made a sandwich.
Ooh, a sandwich.
当時はネットで大騒ぎになり、関連書もいくつか出た。しかし、今ジョン・タイターを語るバカがいるとはな。このリンクでも見てタイターのことぐらい調べてこい。誰のやつ？タイターのリンク。
I'm giving you guys a little extra shit, and all of a sudden, you guys are like, "Oh, it's full screen, Ed."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like totally full screen.
Yeah, that's great. I'm kidding. Bro, you know how he's freaking out about John Teeter?
Yeah.
What if, like, you create everything and then go back and say that, like, you created that? Or, like, an alias?
You think he really is John Teeter?
I think he could be John Teeter, dude. Why wouldn't you? You know, a smart enough person, right, who's probably experiencing dozens of, like, time travel.
Do you think it's his future self communicating with him from the past?
Well, that's sort of what they mentioned earlier with the, like, you know, when they were showing all the timelines and shit, was like your future self could send messages to your past self, and your past self could send messages to your future self. So that's sort of where the line of questioning that I'm drawing is. It's like, can it be
John Teeter could be an alias he's using to speak with himself from another timeline.
And set all of this up, which interesting. Although also what I find interesting is either trying to set things in motion or trying to stop things from happening, because we clearly saw someone die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, all of a sudden he's talking to her normally again. So clearly something must have been set in motion, you know? That's sort of what I'm thinking. Anyway,
it's going to turn out to be that, like, not only is he John Teeter, he's also leading the organization.
Ooh, in order to keep things like traveling through the central timeline.
That's my fucking 5-head take, okay? Is that, like, he is leading the organization as himself, as another version of himself.
Right.
Like, all the paranoia he's surrounded by is actually just, like, another variant of himself who reached the end of the chain and is trying to obscure his past self from reaching the same tragic end that he has. That's my 5-head take on the whole fucking series. Let's go.
Well, my thing is, if that's the case, they're preserving a central timeline where they don't want things to flow way too out of whack, yeah? So they're sending this information to literally, like, but they make him seem crazy. That's smart. That's smart.
I think that at the end of the chain, he figured all this out, and he's trying to prevent his past self from reaching the point he has.
So my question is, why
he's trying to cover up the time travel for his past self.
My question is, why go to this length, right? Unless, here's my 5-head theory. He is going to this length, right? Because we've clearly seen him go unstable and shit. But who is he constantly relying on? The individual that we saw talking in, like, by the river, yeah? Because that's always the individual that we've seen them interact with her constantly, right?
The Tuturu girl.
The Tuturu girl, yeah. So what would happen if you start going through different timelines and shit, and, like, for some reason you can't get back to your own, or you get, like, a predestined fate, i.e., like, say, a definite time mark, right? Like, Brady has to die in every single timeline from here on out. Like, there is no other future for Brady. That would fuck with the person. That would fuck with me. I would be hurt, dude. I would try and do everything I could. So that's what I'm wondering. It's how fucked up, how many like destined death has he gone through in order to, like, reach this point, you know?
Yeah. It's either some like long chain of trying to undo some wrong that he has done. That, or he's just trying to break the loop. He's trying to break the timeline by convincing his past self that there's nothing to look into. Like, and that's what creates the conspiracy. He's trying to obscure these events. Like, he's mastered time travel in the future, and he's trying to, like, cover it up for himself so that he doesn't end up, you know, leading to the death of Tuturu girl or whatever.
Or even like the, like, you know, the redhead girl or someone like that, you know? It has to be someone that he's close enough, especially going forward, that it messes him up, especially if he does know about time travel, where he just keeps, like, it's like the destined fate type thing. That's the best way I can put it. It has to be someone that literally grows a strong attachment to it in some way, shape, or form. So,
well, they already brought up, like, the grandfather paradox, right? Which is an argument for causality. Like, you can't go back in time and kill your own grandfather because then you wouldn't exist.
Right. Unless
going back in time didn't bring you back to your previous time, but you splintered off into a new timeline.
Right.
So that's where we're getting into multiple worlds theory, and that's why they brought up string theory, right? So it's presenting these different, like, modes of viewing reality, and the ones that allow for linear time travel. You can't do the grandfather paradox. You can't go kill your grandfather. But string theory, multiple timelines, yes, you can. That makes me think that a future version of Hōin is absolutely manipulating events from the past to prevent himself from reaching into the timeline that the Hōin who runs the organization is in.
So
that's my 5-head take.
Bringing up the concept of interdimensional propinquity, or interdimensional, quite literally, you get attached to people the longer you spend with them, but what if you've already spent eternity with them? You've grown so attached to you that it's already starts hurting you across multiple timelines, even with the finite deaths. That is sort of what I'm heading at. The organization is probably him and some of his own, like, you know, followers or people that he likes, or, you know, his group of friends, right? Probably from another dimension or another timeline, trying to stop all the John Teeters, I guess, or all these guys from continuing like doing what they're doing.
In every timeline, the girl with the red hair he likes dies, and he's trying to stop that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You spend an eternity trying to prevent something, you end up hating yourself.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is try to save yourself, but you require that self-love that he lacks.
There you go, brother. There you go, brother. I feel like we're connecting dots. We shouldn't be connecting, but we're connecting dots. Let's go.
Dots here. Let's fucking go. This show is awesome.
It is. It's deep.
ほぼ徹夜で俺はジョン・タイターについて調べた。ネットの検索を駆使し、あらゆる情報を集めた。しかし、タイターに答えてほしい。10年前、つまり2000年のことだ。
面白いことを言う人ですね。しかし、残念ながら2000年には行くことはありません。また、その予定もありません。
おい待てウェイウェイウェイそこのお前いやあなた待て待ってください
Oh, thanks, Geek Me.
すぐ削除した方が身のためだ
Oh no. Is she working for the organization?
何を取っていたのだ
Proof. Oh, okay. I thought she was a fucking spy, dude.
Very 古いパソコンだな。知ってる？あ、いや。詳しい人は？あるいは誰なら？その人誰？貴様には関係ない。写真は削除するように。
I've lost the feed for some reason.
You lost the feed? Oh shit! Let me pause it.
Oh, it's back.
Okay, good.
No. I just went black screen for a bit.
Bro, why is she taking photos of you? That's so weird. That gaming.
仲間を売るわけにはいかん。教えるのは俺のメアドだ。名前は？法王隠居魔と書いてあるだろう。風。
That is smart, bro. I'm thinking about it. My brains are connecting. My dots, they're running wild. What if, like, I guess John Teeter, right? Since he traveled future and past, right? He doesn't necessarily, because you wouldn't want to contact yourself, right? So what if you use other people or contact other people to that point?
You mean psycho-influence people?
Yeah. You're feeling what I'm putting down. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I feel like you are, because at that point, like
John Teeter must be a version of Ho-Oh-In that is so racked with the psychological trauma of traveling to and from the future that the only interpretation of his experience is to be the psychotic ramblings of a madman, a man racked by just like the experience of time travel. But he is setting things up for himself to discover.
Right.
Employing psychosocially agents, unwitting agents to interact with him and to like why is she taking what does she need proof of?
So Alan, real quick, I think that what type of predestination this is, the end will probably be the beginning, and the beginning will probably be the end, and that's sort of how I'm seeing this work out. Like quite literally, like the way that they're bringing up John Titor, he exists, he doesn't exist, he exists, he doesn't exist. He wasn't there in 2000, he was there in 2000. It's quite literally like we're gonna see a big flip in this where everything is set up so that it quite literally mirrors what happened at the beginning. So I don't know, dude. I'm fucking shaking. I'm shaking. I'm ready.
This is getting fucking insane, dude.
Dude,
like everything is set up by him. Like why else would we have the parallels between like himself talking to the organization, right? Like the whole idea is, oh, your phone wasn't on, you were talking to yourself. Of course he's talking to himself. Like he is the organization from the future.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to know that yet. But it's like the story telling you the fucking ending from moment one.
But that's my thing. Is like, honestly, if you weren't to like sit down and process this, you would probably be confused as shit majority of the time and be like, oh, these are likable characters. But I think because we literally have time to sit down and be like, wait a minute, what would we do if we were in this situation? If we had a client like this or we had a situation like this, what would we do in their shoes? And we're like bringing up different aspects like, yo, this is exactly what would happen. It's about like interdimensional propinquity. It's about like parataxic distortions. It's all about like, you know, like all these things like all combined. I'm like, dude, brother, we're even making up new terms for like time traveling fucking aspects of psychology now.
Yeah, dude, he's got polytemporal psychotic resonance all over him. And what we're seeing is the residue, right? I talked about resonance and residue. Residue is what we're seeing in the girl that he just met. Like, it's an interaction that just seems almost coincidental, almost like perfectly attuned to his level of like disillusion with reality, where he's like, why are you taking a picture of me? Are you a part of the organization? No, she does not call herself a part of the organization, but she can be anything but. Of course she is part of the organization as an unwitting agent.
Right.
By John Titor, by him, by Ho-Oin from the future, his past self communicating through these people he just interacts with. Like, he's all of them. He's none of them. He's everything. He's no
nothing.
One.
Yeah. That's sort of what I'm getting at, is he's quite literally everything and nothing in itself. And that is a beautiful impact.
That's like, he's like the entire center of the story. Like, everything evolves around him to depths we have not even seen yet.
But it's a ripple effect, essentially, right? Like, if we connected a bunch of ripples, like, you know, a bunch of strings all over a room, and you go in the middle of the room and you pick it up and like you let it drop, it's going to make a ripple effect all the way across, right? But what a lot of people don't know is when it goes out, it's also starting to come back in. Right. So all of his influences that he started off literally hitting in the middle, it all spread out. So he probably created thousands of trillions of fucking timelines. But at the same time, those timelines unwittingly. So he's everything. He created everything. And then that everything came back and did nothing. Because it's like.
See, I have a different interpretation.
Sure.
He's not at the center of the web. He's at the edge.
Okay.
At the center of the edge is an infinite recursive polytemporal stage that John Titor, Ho-Oin, however you want to call him, right, has been stuck in for what feels like eternity. And
I agree with that.
He is at the center of that web, and he is reaching out to every corner, every apex of that web, and he is pulling on every thread and saying, how do I get out of this maze maze of time and causality? And what we're seeing right now is the edge of that web finally experiencing the ripple of his tugging and his pulling and his interaction with himself in all of these vast disparate not at the center. We're at the fucking edge here. We're at the fucking frontier. This is a time never experienced.
This is where I think, like, well, I guess our disagreement starts, right? Because I feel as though all the other John Titors or versions of him are quite literally already at the edge. I feel as though he's going through the middle. He's about to hit the middle. Like, he's already gone through the first couple layers, because we've already seen that he's like, wait a minute, wasn't this different? Like, so he's probably already gone through a couple iterations, and he's probably gonna hit the middle where it's all fucking confusing as shit or whatever. And then once he reaches the edge, it's gonna restart to the beginning or some shit. Because it's like that, dude.
I think he's at the middle, but not the one we're seeing right now. I think at the center is we're going to have a version of him that is like tormented by the inescapable reality of time and fate.
Can you imagine?
And he has just been trying to find his way out of the maze of causality.
But
His entire existence.
well, that's my point. Let's break that down. Can you imagine having a predestined death, no matter what timeline? I.e., I keep dying every single timeline, and you're forced to like reset every single timeline or go into a new timeline. How would that feel after so many times? How would you even like process that? After a while, you'd probably go like, you know, like stone faced, but you're still struggling through forward, you know? So I'm interested. That's trauma, bro. That's trauma 101. I'm curious.
Yeah.
You ready to keep going?
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
I'm Stein pilled.
Oh fuck, my weakness. Maid cafes. Fuck.
Mayushi Nyan Nyan.
誰は？
奥にいるよ。今日な。待ちかねていたにゃんぞ。3日に一度は顔を出す約束どうなったにゃん。
すまない。期間の妨害がひどく。
にゃにゃ。そこまで期間は迫ってるにゃ。では今日も期間打倒のための極秘会議にゃ。
そうだ。いつものステルスフィールドを頼む。
勝手にゃ。そんでフェイリスも混ぜてほしいにゃ。
よせ。お前が太刀打ちできるほど期間は甘くない。
このフェイリスには禁断の非容疑が。
Okay.
そのまさかにゃ。
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of digging it. Not gonna lie.
It's extremely appropriate for what we're dressed as.
That's what I'm saying.
I would love to go to this cafe every single day of my life.
Bro, if we ever grow that big, if the channel ever grows that big, are you down to do a Japan trip? Are you down?
What the fuck you mean if?
What
the fuck do you mean if?
When?
You mean when?
When? Are you down to do an IRL Japan trip? Like, you know, we go to these main cafes, we hit the shit up.
Yes.
All right, we're doing it.
Hell yes.
What's up, USB?
Bro, I think you mean when. Like, how long have we even been like playing at this like Twitch game, right? Like you've been doing it for what, a year, 2 years?
A year, roughly, yeah. Like actually, seriously, probably November or something. It was like end of ReZero.
Yeah, like since like the beginning of this year, you've seen the snowball effect.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
bro, 2-3 years. Fuck yeah, we'll be able to go to fucking Japan. We'll go to a fucking cat-made cafe and stream it on 4K, 8K red Hobbit cameras, whatever.
Ooh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's happening.
Do it. 4 years is nothing.
Yo, do it. We're doing it, Nico. We're doing it.
We'll go hang out at Pokemon's penthouse.
Ooh.
Did he just utter the words two-dimensional soul? Bro, what if your soul is like... Bro, this is doing a certain thing to my brain.
See now that here's something else that I'm thinking now. Because if it's two-dimensional soul, then can you code that soul? Right, i.e. they're going into quite literally a game processor or a processor that can probably code into dimensional like fields like a lot of games did back in the day, right? So what if you're able to go ahead, it's not so much time traveling as it is sending your consciousness, sending the data bits of your consciousness, the 2D of your soul, quotation marks, like, you know, just throwing that over into another timeline or something. If it's a bunch of numbers, quite literally, like, okay, we're gonna get Brady and we're gonna throw you like another dimension, like at least the Bradys whose memories are you right now. That's what I'm processing.
2 dimensions of soul. 2 dimensions of soul must be the body and the memory.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's 2 singular dimensions. 3 dimensions of soul must be the body and the memory, but also someone else's perception of you, right? Which can be different. What do you get into when you talk about 4 dimensions of soul?
So if we're talking about body, memory, perceptions of you, Huh.
What is the fourth dimension of the soul?
What is the fourth dimension? Well,
it's time.
Yeah. But what about
It's
space?
polytemporal.
What about space though?
No, space is the body. Space accounts for the body. Like you have to be at an X and Y coordinate somewhere.
That's interesting. Okay. I like this. I like where you're heading with this.
What if this whole show is about like expanding the definition of the soul beyond like two-dimensional thinking?
Well, that would be fantastic.
Or even three-dimensional thinking.
In that aspect as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic, because at this point, a lot of people just stop at three-dimensional thinking because it's harder for individuals to try and process with four-dimensional. For example, let's talk about intelligence, right? We're going to talk about souls. We're going to talk about the intelligence of other creatures, right? And I know you've read this book, this fantastic book, right, by Peter Watts. You know which one? Blind Sight, exactly. So what would it take for other intelligent creatures, what is intelligence in the first place? How do we define it, right? Because that is really, really important, first off, as humans, as individuals, right? So what if you can go ahead and literally send your soul, send your thing through time itself, right? Through like vibrations, through sequences or whatever, because it's imperceptible to the human eye. We don't accept it in our reality, in our three-dimensional reality. It doesn't exist, but it happens. So that's my whole thing about like the conceptualization of what intelligence is. In case you guys are wondering, in the book it explores a little bit about like life, alien life, 101 things. Amazing book. Go check it out. Highly recommend it.
You have this like alien race who is like, by all accounts of neurobiology, not sentient. They're unthinking, but they, from a perceptive point of view, the way they react to you looks like intelligence. You can biochemically measure that there is like nothing going on up here, right? They reference the idea of a China box, which is this thought experiment where back in like old war times, they would try to like communicate, with one another, different countries and these sorts of things. And the idea was that like coders and decryptors, they could understand the sounds of a language and they could mimic that language to the degree that it sounded like they were really responding to you.
Right.
But on the other end, they had no fucking idea what they were saying. And that's what the book dives into, like these alien starfish, like they're basically just neurofibric reaction beings. Like they don't think, but they are like in action so vastly superior because of their ability to react to things. And it's basically making the argument that actual sentience, actual ability to perceive and reflect on your thoughts are a limiting factor in evolution. Because it demonstrates how much more the survivability of these unthinking, brainless, calculating starfish are superior at survival than like actual thinking humans. And the protagonist of that story is a sociopath, unable to reflect on the emotions of other people. So he serves as a foil to demonstrate the limits that empathy and humanity actually impose upon the thinking individual. It is a brilliant book. And it even touches on like, this is the smartest fucking thing I've ever read in a book. And then when I read shit like this, it makes me want to stop writing right now, because I'm like, I will never come up with something this cool, right? Like the aliens can basically like, so when the way your eyes work, it's like a shutter, right? Like it's like a camera shutter.
Right.
It's like an opening and closing shutter. And there's a brief second where your eye does not perceive anything. And the aliens are able to move, they're able to track onto your eye shutter speed and slightly vibrate themselves in between that shutter speed so that they're basically invisible to you. They can be right in front of you physically, but you don't see them because they are moving at the exact pace of your shutter speed.
Right.
of your eye's shutter speed. Like you can see this if you ever seen a video of a helicopter where the shutter speed of the camera is matched to the helicopter blades, and it looks like a helicopter just like floating in the air and the blades aren't moving, right? You've seen that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically what it is, except it's in the reverse. And it's like the aliens are invisible to the human eye because they're moving in between what are called saccades.
Right.
Those are your eye shutter
And
speeds.
it
The
is-
book is called Blind
It is
Sight.
the
This
smartest book.
will
Yeah.
blow your fucking mind, and it will make you want to quit writing right now.
It
It's
is
so good.
It is the smartest book I've ever read. It is very heavy with scientific terms. I'll let you guys know that in advance. But it's good.
Too smart.
But it's
It's
good.
like literally too smart. It's like written by a biologist, like a marine biologist. Like it's way too good. It makes you feel stupid.
Yeah. But that's the point that we were talking about. Essentially, is like, you know, if we're gonna like take that perspective on here, we can kind of see as to what they're talking about when it comes to 2D versus 3D souls or 4D souls, even in that regard, because there's aspects of sentience or aspects of souls that can't necessarily be understood immediately. So I'm curious, brother. I'm curious where this is gonna go. You ready?
Yeah, like we're operating right now with the 2D soul.
Right.
And those aliens in that book, they're operating with a 4D soul. Like they're dispossessed of time. They don't think about, you know, legacy or generational progress. You know, they're not worried about like exterior perception.
Mhm.
You know, they're basically imperceptible because they can vibrate at the shutter speed of your eye's camera speed. And it's like, that's a fucking 4D soul. But if you just looked at them, you would think this is a brainless starfish.
Right.
But it's going to outclass you in every single respect because your sentience, your empathy, your ability to process emotion is a fucking slowdown. It's going to slow your brain down to a meager crawl. And in a long enough timeline, you're going to be nothing but dust. And the starfish will reign supreme.
You see, Mr. Steffi, but not even that. Not even if you windmill accordingly to try and hit them, because if they're vibrating so quickly, your hand will literally go through it as though they're not even there, as though they don't exist. The vibration speed that things can pick up can literally make you go through, like, you know, if they wanted to go through walls easily, go through anything as they wanted. So, oof. But anyway, you ready to keep going?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Is there any other show that could send us on like this kind of tangent?
Probably not, dude. This is a...
疾風陣雷のナイトハルトまで出張ってきたけど出てこないってことは元からなかったんじゃねえかってことでファイナルアンサー。そんなに貴重なものなのか。発売は今から30年以上前。当時は値段高すぎでパソコンなんて誰も買えない時代。レア度激高ってパターン。ふむ。お、さっきの女か。早速メールしました。桐生萌香です。20歳フリーター嫌だって言ってもしちゃいま。これがさっきの女と同一人物だと。
Oh gosh.
どうしたん？
Oh gosh.
お前を売らなかったことに感謝するんだな。貴重な PC だ。秋葉にはない可能性が高い。エル、プサイ、コングルー。
ご主人様、お待たせにゃんにゃん。
うひょー。
I'm a fucking die. Especially if you go to a ReZero made cafe, I'm a fucking die, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh. A rammer, Amelia serving you food? Done. Done.
Oh my.
ゲルマナは分子レベルでズタズタだということが判明した。バナナではない何かになってたと。それやばくね？何が起きてんだろう？ 現状考えられるのは電話レンジカッコ仮の電磁波の影響だな。ソースはマッドサイエンティストと勘だ。根拠なしと。おっしゃ、接続終わった。よし、ではこれを使おう。これ眉毛のじゃ。安心しろ。眉毛から提供された研究費で俺が買ったものだ。いやだからそれを眉毛のって言うね。さあ、双子と放り込んで変化を確かめるのだ。一本でいいだろ、上皇。
Wait, what? Okay. I was scared. I was scared, brother.
Didn't they already microwave some bananas?
Beforehand? Yeah, remember? It came out all gooey and nasty, right?
Are we referencing now the effects of time travel on the human mind and how it degrades you?
I think
Is that the visual metaphor we're going for?
I think that's the metaphor that we're going for. What?
緊急要請6665クーリングオフを発動させろ政府の承認そんなことを言ってる場合では自演オツうるさいどこに隠した隠したのはオカリンだろそうか
You're the one that did it.
これはもしやテレポート可能な電子レンジなんだ
What?
ってそんな無茶なではどう説明する房からちぎりレンジに入れたはずのバナナを
Interdimensional displacement?
Quite literally, but then it placed itself back in its original off. Wow. I think we may be onto something, Brady. What if the banana is quite literally a symbolism for what our main characters are going to go through? Quite literally break away from the
Like one banana of the bunch represents one splintered personality.
Yeah.
From our character here.
Yeah. What?
And we're witnessing like the psychosocial the disintegration of one of them.
Right. Hi Rex. Yes, you see us with their little protective hats. We're protecting ourselves from all the radiation of the crazy globalist conspiracy. We're explaining sort of interdimensional propinquity, psychology, all of that when it comes to time travel shows, I guess, best way to put it. But this is interesting because I think the banana is actually a really big influence or reference towards the main character, and sort of him splintering from the rest of the group, probably going on adventures or whatever, and then coming back all fucked up, with all the trauma and whatnot that will probably go through that. That's what I'm thinking, brother. That's what I'm thinking about 2D versus 3D souls with interdimensional displacement. So
yeah,
interesting.
And while you still have one banana that's degrading,
yeah,
it still tries to attach itself to the larger whole, right?
That's why I'm.
It's the same way how when people degrade psychologically, don't they latch on to more complete individuals? Don't they latch on to a healthier bunch of bananas and say, I am just like you as well?
But I mean, that's sort of the toxicity of it, right? Where House, we might either do. I'll probably do Madoka tomorrow, just because I actually want to give it the proper time it deserves. But I will say this specifically when it comes to, I guess, toxicity in groups. Oftentimes, it's sort of like trauma spreading or trauma bouncing. You find a group, you have all this trauma. And what do? They go and they hit the whole group of normal, healthy people and spread that trauma. It's people that are already so toxic in their trauma that's the only way that they're able to go ahead and cope with it. So if you can't get back to your original destination, what are you going to do? You're going to trauma bond. You're going to go not just trauma bond, but spread your trauma to trauma bond. So I'm interested. I'm really interested on where this is going to go. Let's go. We're almost there. Bro, my head's heating up from all the fucking dots. What is this? How'd you even get in here? Oh, that's the end.
Bruh.
Oh, okay. What an episode, dude. I really felt like 2 minutes. Especially as we kept going through it, dude. Wow. So what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on the episode in general?
My main thoughts are just that everything we're seeing here is a thread being pulled on from some other event of our main character.
Right.
Like somewhere else in the like polytemporal web of his experience is another version of him that is grasping, reaching for like to make a change, right? It's pulling on webs. It's employing unwitting agents, people who like can reach out to him in these sorts of things. Trying to communicate with himself, John Tito, right? The alias. Like he's doing anything he can to communicate with himself. Because like at some point in the timeline, there is our character, Ho-In, perhaps named something else entirely. And like he is trying to send temporal waves out to himself.
But that's
to change what has
happened.
But
what does that say? What does that say? That is the actions of a desperate man. Yeah.
Desperation, like, absolutely.
Yeah. It's quite literally like if you're falling, you know, you're putting your hands, especially like if you're in real danger, you know, you get all sweaty and whatnot. You put your hand in like you're trying to hold on to the wall and you're like sliding down, you're grasping for everything, you know. That's sort of how I feel whoever John Teeter is, it's what he's doing, you know. Guys, trust me, it's this anime is one of those animes where like we literally have to take it like section by section, episode by episode, because it's fucking rough, dude. I've never seen an anime pull us through like this in a long while. Yeah,
pulling us from psychology to like philosophy as well, to like physics.
Yeah. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it.